Got a light, mate. Got an ear right here. Got a quid to get rid. You got anything to share? Got the time, mate. Got some pennies for my mate. What's happening now then, mate? Got something going on here? Got to be somewhere, mate. What you got going on? What will you miss then, mate? Where you from then, mate? Seen anyone we know? Don't be like that, mate. This is how it goes. You got a phone, mate? Bet you wish you had a car. You're all alone now, mate. The cash still isn't far.
On and off about 8 years I've been homeless. My mental health made me give up my job because the voices were telling me to jump off the scaffold and I might have been 200 foot up in the air. And it's not a safe job to do when your mind's not in the right place. I split up with my girlfriend and ended up sleeping on couches and then I ended up on the street.
I had a job, part-time, at Asda's on Nixon Street. When that got a bit too much, I went in the forces when there was all unemployment then. 6 years I did in the army, and then I came out. The army said, oh, you'll be all set up with your certificates. I went to Manchester where I was supposed to get help with all this. They said I would have had to start all over again with my certificates, retrain, so it would have been 6 years wasted. I came back to my mother's, then from there I went to the Salvation Army and my mother kicked us out, me and my younger brother. And my younger brother went to Eastbourne, took my tent and lived by the wishing well. I went to Liverpool. When I got off, after coming to Liverpool and got off, I didn't know where to go at first and I found a soup kitchen. Someone told me about a soup kitchen, so I had some toast.
I've been homeless now on and off for 4 to 5 years. I've gone through a bad patch with my husband. I'm going through a divorce. I have 3 children and I just had enough and walked out and I ended up in Rochdale.
It was alcohol. I lost my job and basically it's I suddenly felt like just a drop in the ocean. You know, I think you get into that state and into that predicament because you feel like you have no control. Your life is rudderless. You have no. You attempt to follow the rules and jump through all the hoops that you're expected to jump through, but it's other people's rules, it's other people's hoops, it's other people's control, and you feel like you're flotsam and jetsam. You know, you're going with the tide. You have no say or control over your life.
My name's Mickey Larkin. Ha! Moved to Petrus because I lost my mum. My mum died, my dad died, my brother died. So I went up to the day centre and I said, right, can I get some place to live? I came homeless because I weren't getting much money. I was on the signing on and I weren't getting much money, and I got in debt with bills and that, electric and gas. Why did you come homeless?
The Scottish government told me to move to England, so I did.
Did you have a place?
Yeah. I had a good house in Scotland, but
what happened to it?
the Scottish government.
You have to give it up.
And they ordered me to come down here.
I was sort of on my way to work. I got a phone call from my family. They sort of falling out with me, sort of thing. So a bit depressed about that. Sort of went into work that night. Lost my job that night. So I went home that night, you know, sort of feeling a bit down. And then I went and stayed with some friends in Ebden Bridge. I stayed there for a few days, and on my way back from Ebden, that was sort of past where I lived. I just didn't get off the bus, and I just carried on going, and then just went and stayed with my friends, and I just never went back to the house, just sort of left everything. I was just in a bad place, I didn't want to be on my own, so I sort of went and stayed with my friends. From a very early age, I've mainly been into like birds and, you know, well, all nature really, but like mainly birds. I used to sit in my garden and, you know, used to have the bird feeders out and whatnot, and getting all the different birds in it, you know.
I lost my home because the police come through my door. Been in prison for drugs and this, that and the other. And I just like got into it all like 44 years old. And I was dead against drugs. But like I say, because I was living on my own and I probably just wanted friends and that to talk to and that. I just let people in who I thought there was nice people, and I just started selling drugs and everything.
I had a problem with drinking. I left Espex Gifts. I was there for 10 years. I had a drink problem. I had to go in rehab. I did a detox. I went in Emma Cottage for a year, and as I did well in rehab, I come out. I went to high level, and where I met my girlfriend, this partner, Kevin.
My husband left me at Christmas, and he never came back, and I never saw my son, and it was very lonely. So we sold the house, and he gave me some money. That went on the bay, 10 grand, all on the bay.
People take drink, people take drugs, but the law, when they do that, and all that will do is take you lower and stop you thinking straight, stop you thinking with reason.
I was just in the town centre. I heard some sort of screeching like, and I looked up to the town hall, and I seen the falcon there, and it's a peregrine falcon, yeah. And that was probably about 4 years ago now, and it's been there ever since. So yeah, I take time to watch it quite a bit.
You always have to have one eye open when you sleep on the streets, because you don't know what's coming around the next corner. It could be any time from 7 o'clock up to 3 o'clock in the morning, depending where you are and how comfortable you feel. Don't sleep in the doorways, always sleep at the back of the buildings. Make sure you've got plenty of cardboard and plenty of covers, because especially in winter it's cold.
Salvation Army, one poor guy, he was in the corner with all his gear, and he had it all snapped round him. He had lockers and everything, but the Salvation never locked the doors, so he could have it nicked. But he had it all around him, and he was there. And as I heard earlier on, he always kept one eye open. Well, he used to sleep, but a very mild sleep, because you'd be wondering if anyone's going to come in and try and kick you and get your stuff. And this is how this guy was all the time. And he'd rather be out moving about when no one could find him to do this.
You've got to try to survive outside. Yeah, but it is cold at winter time. Yeah, you've got to survive, don't you? It's cold winter, isn't it? No one wants to be outside, do they, in cold? Do they?
You just drink more.
Not when the snow comes and all, it's freezing cold, isn't it?
You try in the shelter, yeah.
I'll sleep in a box.
I'm just trying to sort my life out now, because like I'm 51 years old now, and I just couldn't handle it on the streets.
As I sat on the bench, realizing nobody has noticed me, so I remained silent. As a ghost of my past took me back in time, as I see everyone walking past me. As I'm like a shadow, I felt invisible towards everyone. As I felt I'm dragged away from this situation, I've lost myself out in the middle of nowhere.
not always a tangible pinpoint where you can say, yeah, that's the reason why this is happening to me. So what you've got to think to yourself is, I'm better than that, I'm bigger than that, and I'm smarter than that, and I've had enough.
Petrus and I have ADS, high level, I have my meetings at night, NAA, you know, it's like, they're all different groups all together, you know.
Go to the Petrus and go to a lot of, they do different groups on, women's group, they do job searching, anything that's available, I join.
I come to the day centre at Petrus in the morning for my breakfast, and they have 7 days, you have 7 groups on like cooking, computers. I mean, I make me day around that.
I'm in a hostel now, so I've got like my own space and that. But if it wasn't for Petrus, I'd just be like homeless and I wouldn't know where to go.
One day I went to Petrus and they helped me to get back on my feet into that. They asked me, do you want to go into hostel? And I said, yeah, and I had to wait for a few months, and I got referred into Long Street, Mickleton.
I've got the right medication, I've got loads of friends, I'm eating, I'm doing good things, Petrus has saved my life.
So I went to Petrus, and Julie at Petrus sort of got my claim going, you know, sorted all that sort of thing out, and, you know, booked me into the doctors, you know, and she sort of pretty much said I needed to see a doctor, sorted all that out for me, like. And yeah, that's sort of how I'm moving on from there, and things are happening. I'm always looking up at the town hall, or, you know, the black box. That's mainly the 2 places where it sits. Don't do a right lot, it just sort of sits there, you know. But occasionally you get to see it flying about and, you know, and going up. I've not seen that one do its thing yet, its stoop. And that's what I'm always looking out for it for doing, really. But I've not seen that one do it yet. I just constantly look for it. It's just I don't know, it's just like a habit I've got. I can't walk through the town without looking up at either the town hall clock or the black box. It's just something I do. You know, whenever I go in town, I mean, on my way here today, I've looked. I've not seen it today, but I'm pretty sure it's there somewhere. It is going to change. It is going to change. It's not all about it. You know, I'm going to be. You know, I'm getting an house with one of my mates. You know, it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. And it's not there yet, but it's coming, you know. Yeah, it's going to happen.
You know, I was talking earlier about positive and negative, and I've just got a job, and the negative aspect was me thinking, I haven't got a job. All the negative aspects, they're not going to see anything good in me, you know, I'm not good enough. And that's all in there.
With that peregrine, man, that's like the ultimate. That you know, when I see that, it's my favourite. Like, not only it's like it's the fastest creature in the world for one thing, you know, in the whole world, and we've got one right here in Rochdale. You know, we're pretty lucky to have that. Ever since I've been a kid, like my favourite film is that Kes. You know, that's my favourite film. And one day, you know, hopefully, if I can get myself sorted out and get myself right, hopefully I will have a falcon of my own. Hopefully, I'll probably start with Harris Hawk. If I can get myself right. Not right for it yet though.
AlbinoMosquito.